Hi everybody, this is Matthew Stevens, and I wanted to give a update on what is going on in the housing market with the latest numbers because I think it is significantly important to find out what is happening and going on in the market. A couple things that are really interesting is Brevard County is doing very well compared to the rest of the state. The rest of the state's actually not doing horrible overall, but because real estate is really granular and most people that are buying around this area want to know what's happening here and could care less what's happening in Miami or Cape Coral, that's why I figured this is interesting information. So for the statistics come out for the month before, so all this comes from June of this year, and a couple interesting things. One here is that closed sales up in Brevard County are up 5.7% for June. There was 958 closed sales in June compared to 906 a year ago. New pending sales are up 4.2%, which is good. New listings are down 0.1%, so that's only a small change from a year ago. The median sales price in Brevard County has increased up 4%. And to $389,950 compared to $375,000 a year ago. What does that mean? Well, the median sales price has gone up, and prices actually have increased, which is something I'll tell you in just a moment. But that is really interesting because in average for the state of Florida, house prices increased 2.8% all over the state. So here we had a little bit of an increase, about 4.1% total so far this year, which is kind of amazing actually. Months of inventory have gone up 12.2% from a year ago. We're at 4.6 months worth of inventory. Generally, 6 months of inventory is considered the yin and yang of what, for buyers and sellers. So right now, even though things have slowed down slightly compared to like 2021, 2020, it's still busy enough here where the inventory is still tight-ish, where we're not quite at 6 months. So that's something to think about. Traditional sales are up 6.1%. That's actually pretty interesting because of the FHA rules and whatnot. Foreclosures are down 50%. That's a good thing for us. It shows how good the market is doing here, that foreclosures for the last couple of years are pretty minimal. And that really does show that the market is strong enough here compared to different areas of the state. And short sales are down. There was 2 closed short sales, and they're pretty low prices. So that's, not really a big deal around here either compared to back in 2008 when, a third of the market would be short sales, or, foreclosures were pretty heavy, like 50% of the market, or not even close to that. So that is for single family homes. And, I now do townhomes and, condos because we are a secondary market. And that is a totally different thing. So secondary markets right now, because of the cost to borrow money, generally tend to hurt when the rates are up where they're at. So closed sales for the month of June compared to a year ago are down 14.5%. They had 213 units closed compared to 249 a year ago. New pending sales are down 27% from a year ago to 12, which is a 12.3%. That was a year ago. Median sales price for Brevard County townhomes and condos is actually down. So this doesn't mean that the prices have dropped. It's just the median sales price has dropped 13.6% to 285,000 compared to 330,000 a year ago. Months of supply are at 8.8 per months. So that does show that condos and townhomes are a buyer's market, and they are still selling, just not with the ferocity of it was before. Traditional sales are down 14.1%. People are going for alternative financing because generally you have to get a secondary loan for a condo or a townhome, and that generally tends to be anywhere from 1 to 2% higher than the normal mortgage. Foreclosures and bank-owned homes, they had 0 closed sales for the month, for last month. Short sales at 0 closed sales. So it's showing that the condos and townhome market is down a bit, but it's not crazy. So that's something interesting to watch. And for the people who are looking for homes in this area, it shows the stability of what's happening in the Brevard County market. But people expected prices to drop like a rock, and I've seen, that's all I heard for buyers for a long time, for the most part, that don't really know what's happening in the market. But truth be told is that it is pretty well stable here, and just inching up a little bit with a good amount of increase in value, but not the ridiculous, crazy COVID amounts. So this is what we would say is a normal market. Now for townhomes and condos, this actually happens anytime that rates get up like this. They tend to go down, sales tend to go down, medium price goes down, people start undercutting because it costs money to hold these things. So that is not surprising for a secondary condo market. And but there are still people buying them. There are still plenty of people buying homes. And just so you know, the good homes still go very quickly, anywhere from 3 to 5 days on the market and gone. And it will have multiple offers. I've seen that problem. I'm actually having problems with trying to get buyers, a house that's considered a good deal. But understand that the house prices that are like overpriced, or they're expecting a lot more than it really is, or it is in a certain bracket, it's just not selling as quickly here, but they are still selling. So they're just not going, with multiple offers unless it's an amazing deal. And there's a few houses that just have gone within a day. So understand that the market still is pretty safe and good here with what's happening. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can always send me a text or send me an email. I'll give you my direct number. It's 321-482-3585. I'm Matthew Stebbins with the Space Coast Elite Homes team. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.